Hey guys, this is Nikki and welcome back to another video. I'm just trying to sound scarier, even though I know that wasn't scary at all. But today we're gonna talk about some of the most haunted objects in the world. And if you know me, these haunted things amaze me. And so I want to make this video perfect somehow. And well, the first object that we're going to talk about is Annabelle. And if you have been in this channel for some time, if you have been in my family for some time, you know that Annabelle is one of the things that really creeps me out. And I really believe that she's true. I know some of you may think she's true like me, and some of you may think that no, she's not true and she's only in movies, but I believe it's true, and I believed it especially after I heard the real story of Annabelle. If you have watched Conjuring movies or Annabelle 3, Annabelle Comes Home, you see two people there that are called Lauren and Ed Warren, and these two are the people who have the real Annabelle now. And there are some people, I don't remember the name actually, their job's name, sorry, but there are some people that they're catch ghosts, and they try to save people from such devilish things. And Annabelle was first kind of started in 1970. And this doll actually isn't the doll that is in the movies, and the doll that is in the movies, for me, it's much scarier. But this one has a scarier and realistic past. Well, they gave the real Annabelle to a nurse, and this nurse was somehow an adult, but she somehow played with Annabelle she was a child, and Annabelle was a real person, and everything was okay until she suspected some things that shouldn't happen to a doll that isn't real. So she brought Annabelle to a psychic, and that psychic told her that Annabelle is a 6-year-old girl that had died in a kind of car crash. And so she's here to receive some love, and she wants you to continue to act like a real human with her. And so she didn't think this was dangerous at all, but Annabelle was acting, but she's continued to act like Annabelle is a real person. But one day when this nurse's friend came to her house for, I think, a slumber party or something, she had a really terrifying dream that Annabelle was the girl was sleeping in her bed, and Annabelle was trying to get her down under the bed and do whatsoever to her. And so when she woke up, she told the nurse and told her what she had seen. And the nurse didn't believe her like that, and she threw Annabelle to the wall and told her that this is just a doll, and she couldn't have come to your dream, you're just crazy, and these things. And the thing that the nurse said and did was the worst thing that she had ever done, because that made Annabelle angry, and a moment later on her skin there was some things like someone had attacked her. And after this, they did some researches so they could somehow get rid of this doll, and they found Ed and Lauren Warren, and they talked to her, they talked to them and told what had happened. And first Lauren and Ed Warren didn't know how dangerous Annabelle could be, so they sat her on a chair in their museum. And while after some time, they brought a priest, yes. Do we call it priest or priest? I think it's priest. Sorry. a priest to that place, and they told him the story, and he took Annabelle and threw her to the wall and said, see, nothing's gonna happen to him, I'm okay. And these are all some kind of lies, and God is the most powerful person, and the most powerful, not person, thing in the world, and nothing like this doll can somehow gets that power from him. And so on the way home, a car crash happened and he was in the hospital. He wasn't feeling good at all, and all that he could see, he says that was Annabelle's face. And when he came home, he called Ed Warren and apologized to him and told him that this thing is a really dangerous thing and they should keep it in somewhere more safe somehow. So they brought up a box and they put her in there, and on the box has written, warning, do not open and do not touch. But this story doesn't end here. After some time that they put Annabelle in their museum in that box, two teenagers, I think they were teenagers, came to that place and asked about Annabelle, and Lauren and Ed Warren talked about what she has done and everything. And the boy was a little crazy, so he banged on the Annabelle's box and said that you cannot do anything, you're just a doll, these are all lies and everything. And Ed threw them out of the kind of museum, and told them that I warned you, that this doll isn't just isn't just a normal doll as you think. It can be so dangerous. And they didn't take this serious. And when they were driving home, unfortunately, another car crash happened, and the girl says that her boyfriend just looked on the other side and he was terrified even though there was nothing there, and they crashed. And the boyfriend is still at the hospital. That time that she talked, she said this, I don't know if he's still in the hospital or he's dead, I don't know, or he's just living his life. The girl said that when she sleeps she can only see Annabelle's face, and it's like Annabelle's playing with their minds. So this really creeps me out. If you ever went to their museum, even though it's closed now, but maybe they will open it up again, please do not touch her or do anything to her. Another thing that I never ever heard of is Dubik box. And Dubik is something like that somehow comes with you everywhere, follows you, and something like that. And it's a box, it's simply a box. And a man that had a museum too actually bought this doll from a family. Bought this box from a family that they say that this box belonged to an old lady that had survived a Holocaust. And when he received this box, he had some kind of bad vibes about it, so he tried to give it back to the first owners, but they didn't want to get it back for some reason. And so he wanted to sell it, but no one came, or whenever they wanted to buy it, they would have some negative energy and they wouldn't buy it, so he put it down in the basement. And one day that he was out, one of his co-workers that worked in the museum said that he has heard some things. And when he went to the museum, he saw that his co-worker wasn't feeling good at all. And he said that whoever saw this box would have some kind of nightmares about it. So they all had some negative feelings about this box. And someday the new owner of the box that had the museum decided to open this box and see what is really inside. And when he opened the box in the basement, he saw something inside. It was something like in the middle was written life, and there were other things in the box that were hair, wine, a penny, and a rose flower. And he didn't take this seriously. He thought it's a normal box, and it has just he just has some negative energies about this. So for his mother's birthday, he gave it to her. Great. And the time that she saw the box, she immediately had the negative energy too. And she even talked in news about this box. And at the end of her talking, she had some kind of stroke. And in the hospital, she couldn't, you know, when people have some stroke, they cannot like talk normally or something. So when the man, means her son, came by his bed, she told him, hate gift. It means that, I shouldn't say it means that, you know what it means. But after that, he had some nightmares too. Like he was walking with one of his friends, and that girl immediately, or that boy, I don't know if his friend is a girl or a boy that he saw in his dreams, but it became something like a monster and would eat him, and because of that he couldn't sleep well. And after some time that this continued to happen, he went to the girl who he bought this from and asked him what has really happened. And she said that one day they were playing with a Ouija board, and it was something like everyone would do that in that time, and it was something like normal. And they made contact with a ghost, and the ghost said that he will show them a way to get him to this world, and then they would reach happiness, something like that. Happiness. And I don't know why they were so silly that they agreed to let him out, but not entirely, like prison him inside the box. I don't know why they even like freed him to get him in the box, but they couldn't. And after 3 days, they sent them to a camp where they tortured people, but she escaped. And finally she could get this in the box. And she said that I was only looking for a chance to get rid of it. And after that, this box is in a museum, and like Annabelle and everything. And it again has a case, so no one can touch it. And yes, the other one is a normal chair that isn't normal at all. And this chair belonged to a man called Thomas Busby, I think. I'm sorry if I'm actually saying it wrong or something. And he said that he killed his dad because he only sat on the chair without asking him. And well, they killed him because of killing his dad, actually, with no kind of great reason. And when he was about to be killed, he said that I will haunt this chair, and whoever that sits on this chair is gonna die immediately. And after that, people didn't get him right. They thought that he's lying and he's bluffing and everything. But after that, whoever that sat on the chair died for a reason. And because of that, this chair is again in a museum, but it's not on the ground, so no one can sit on it. It's on a wall. And yes, the other one is again a doll that really creeped me out, and I love this story. And I somehow saw the pictures of this doll, but I have never like heard the story. This doll is called Robert. Why do I feel like it's Robert Pattinson? So this doll was called Robert, and actually something that I didn't know that amazed me was they made Chucky from Robert. And 100 years ago, a waiter in a house gives the son of that house this doll that the man was called Jim, that the boy somehow. And he somehow fell in love with the doll, even though the doll is like creepy, and I don't know why he even fell in love with that doll. But he always like slept with him and something like what children would do. But his parents would notice some things that a doll shouldn't do, like moving by its own, like not to walk. Something like they're sitting here and they look down and then he's not there anymore. And after some time, they put that doll in their basement so he cannot come out or do anything, because they were really creeped out by this doll. And even Jim was afraid of him now. And he grows up and gets married, and again has some connection with the doll, and he gets him out and again like sleeps with him and do things that a child should do. And this made his wife really feeling concerned, and she was somehow having some hatred towards the doll. And after some time, when they both died, another family comes to the house that Jim used to live in, and the doll was there, and they had a daughter. And again, the daughter fell in love with this doll out of blue. And something that people found out was, as I told you, a waiter gave Jim Robert. And so in those times, waiters weren't respected at all. And they say that Jim's mother was really mean to them, so somehow these waiters had some dark magic and they put it on Robert, so he could somehow torture Jim, and that way it would torture his mother as well. I don't know if these are true or not, but I like to believe in them. I don't know why. But you can say that these are all stories, but I somehow really believe in Ed and Lauren Warren, so yes. And also, now this doll is in another museum, and like the owner of the museum always says that don't take pictures if he doesn't want, but people mostly don't listen and they take pictures because they say it's just a doll and everything. But if you go and look at his box, you see a lot of apology mails from the people who actually took pictures without asking him. And the owner of the museum should read those mails out loud so Robert wouldn't like hunt those people. And the other one is a statue, and it's in Warren's museum as well. And it's about someone who was hiking and he sees a circle in a forest, and that statue was at the middle of the circle. And if you know the health sign, it's something like a star in a circle, and at the middle of that star was this statue. And so he somehow has some like bad vibes about this, so he tries to run away, but he somehow gets lost, and he sees someone in the forest like standing this normal, and he asks him question like, where is the way to my city, or where am I, or these things, and he only points it somewhere, and he really gets creeped out, and he runs and somehow saves himself. And after that, he says he talks about this to the Warrens, and they bring the statue, I mean, to their museum, and they say that this statue was for the people who don't believe in God, and that person that he saw was a person who didn't believe in God, and he was in Satan's side. And yes, the other one is a diamond. And these are somehow the short stories, true stories apparently. And the first one is about a diamond that only could be worn by women, because if any men wore that diamond as a jewelry, like their crown or I don't know, anything else, they would die immediately, and only women could wear it. The other one is a wedding dress, and it's about a girl that her father, never let her get married, and so she was heartbroken because she fell in love with a boy that wasn't like her family wore expensive things and they were rich, but the boy was poor, so his father didn't let her to marry him. And so she was heartbroken, and she only put that wedding dress in her closet, always looking at it sadly. And when she dies, this is kind of a sad story, not really scary, but some paranormal things happen. And so this house is a museum now, and people go in the house and look everywhere because it's not dangerous. But there are some paranormal things going on, and if you go in the girl's room, you see the dress like moving by itself, like someone is looking at herself in the mirror and checking the wedding dress on herself. This is sad. And another story that is gonna be the last short story is a picture of a sad boy, and it's about a sad boy crying. That it shows that he's seeing his parents catch fire and die, and he's just crying in the picture. And whoever that brings it to their house or to any place, that place would catch on fire immediately. And yes, that's all of the creepy haunted objects. And if I haven't talked about any other creepier things, just tell me in the comments below if you have any creepier things, and tell me which one creeped you out more. And if you have any thing for me to talk about in a video, just tell me. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a big thumbs up, share it with the family, friends, ring the bell, and subscribe for more videos like this. And I'll see you in my next video. And also guys, I know I wasn't myself in this video because I was trying to make it scarier, and I wanted to have a really high-pitched tone. And I know if I laughed a lot like always, it wouldn't make you that scared somehow. So if you want me to continue like this, just tell me. Bye!